Welcome to Unews for Wednesday, April 29th. I'm Lorraine, Caceres. We begin today with major concerns as the reopening of the country accelerates, the CDC pointing to the risks of easing off on the social distancing measures that have saved so many lives while people across the country continue to defy stay-at-home orders, rallying to go back to work. After meeting with the president in Washington on Tuesday, today the governor of Florida is set to announce a reopening plan for his state, the third most populous in the country. And there are growing concerns over possible food shortages in the U.S. as more meatpacking plants close over coronavirus fears. Overnight, President Trump signing an executive order to prevent these disruptions in the food supply. The president also insisting that virus testing is going well. Linares reports.
The Mayo Clinic tweeted that it had advised the vice president of the mask policy, but moments later the clinic deleted the tweet and instead posted a new message thanking Pence for his visit. In Miami, Florida, Andrea Linares. Lorraine, now back to you.
Thank you, Andrea, for that report. And in the era of coronavirus, support for big government is back. That's according to a new USA Today Suffolk University poll. Americans, by double-digit margins, say the federal government is. And speaking of government help, millions of Americans are still waiting to receive funds from the $2 trillion stimulus package President Trump signed back in March. Rafael Rodriguez explains why for some the money is taking so long to arrive. With just over 6 months until Election Day, 2/3 of Americans, including 80% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents, along with half of Republicans. After the break, a look at how individual states, as all 50 states continue their slow battle against the pandemic, those in the Northeast have been particularly hard hit. Blanca Rosa Vinches has the latest on the tri-state area's effort to combat the crisis. In Connecticut, National Guardsmen pitching in to help those soldiers visiting a nursing home facility in the city of Waterbury. In Los Angeles, a new futuristic-looking resource to help in the fight against the coronavirus. The goal, to protect the most vulnerable workers on the front lines of the pandemic. Jaime Garcia explains. And many of you may have noticed discarded latex gloves and face masks littering the streets. But one organization is trying to raise awareness about this problem by launching a hashtag campaign asking people to send photos of littered gloves and masks. Maria Algarra joins me now. She's the creator of the gloves. Though millions of flights have been canceled. Welcome back to Unews. As the coronavirus death toll climbs, many families in the U.S. are being left with challenging end-of-life logistical decisions, such as how to transport the remains of loved ones when contact is not allowed. This is especially difficult for families of patients who die on foreign soil and have to navigate bureaucracies that appear ill-equipped to handle the crisis. Alejandra Flores has more.
According to migrant activists in New York, consulates are not equipped to handle the magnitude of the crisis and are lacking the resources needed to help the families of the Mexican nationals whose loved ones have died in foreign soil.
One of the largest car makers reported a sharp fall in earnings, revenue, and new car sales. Meanwhile, the airline industry continues to suffer in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. As Luis Mejida explains, many carriers are scrambling to address passenger safety concerns while looking ahead to how the future of air travel could change. And as the coronavirus continues to disrupt and alter daily life, could a change be coming to your local tourist destination? Today, we're learning more about the president of El Salvador's plans to increase security and crack down on gang members in prison amid the pandemic. As Romina Leon explains, it's a move that some lawmakers are increasingly worried about. Further north along the border between Mexico and Guatemala, a contentious area for migrants passing through remains unofficially open. The risk of that crossing made even more dangerous in the era of the coronavirus. Here's Azul Alvarez. Coming up, an inside look at what the coronavirus outbreak has prompted hospitals to implement a lot of changes, especially for women giving birth. Shay Rodriguez has a look at what it's like to go through labor during a pandemic. Such a difficult situation, and during a time when social distancing is preventing family and friends from gathering to remember loved ones who died from coronavirus, in Mexico, music is helping some cope with loss. Francis Novell has more on how norteño music is being used to say goodbye. When we come back, we've heard new news. For one Boston chef, food is about bringing people together, and he isn't changing his message, even if the coronavirus is keeping people physically apart. Lorraine explains how Ming Tsai is using his kitchen for those in need. What a great way to help and try and do the best out of a very difficult situation. Now moving on, one Hollywood star fast becoming the fairy godmother of the class of 2020. John Krasinski, all the excitement of going to Hamilton and just couldn't make it because of this coronavirus pandemic. That's all the time we have today for you news from us here in the studio, along with those working remotely. Stay home, stay safe, and we will see you again tomorrow.